What is up, everybody? How are we doing today? Welcome back to this channel. My name is Kane. Today we're going to go over top 5 long-term cryptos to hold. Disclaimer in the front, guys. By no means that you should go off my advice for crypto. Honestly, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I am not really into crypto. That's just me. But I've been in the markets for nearly almost a decade now, and I see kind of like I've seen the crypto world change, just like how I've seen stocks change and how they're moving differently a little bit. And, but that's how the market is. I remember back in the day, when I first started getting into stocks and a little bit of crypto and stuff, I was like 2017, 2018, Bitcoin and Ethereum, was the hype and stuff. And then, now meme coins are the hype and the way to get quick cash. Unless if you're going to be exit liquidity for those that are rug pulling you. But without further ado, guys, these are going to be the top 5 long-term investing cryptos that I would hold for the long term. And first and foremost, everybody knows this. It's the Big Daddy, the Mac Daddy. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is respected digital gold, hedge against inflation. Bitcoin has just done, ripped and ripped over, guys. I mean, look. Came would be the perfect time to buy Bitcoin, even at 20K. You know what I mean, guys? Even at 20K, I have it. Look, guys, I want to sit here and tell you. I remember when I bought, I bought a little bit of Bitcoin back during 2017, 2018. I sold it, but it wasn't that much, guys. It was like a couple $100, but because I still didn't understand. I didn't study it. I didn't understand it. And do I regret doing that? I don't regret it because we still had major gains in the stock world that I have majority of my knowledge in. But at the same time, it's just like sometimes got to expand / broaden that knowledge. And so I do wish that I would have dug in a little bit into crypto, but at the same time I go where majority of my knowledge is. So just yet again, guys, this is not investment advice. This ain't this is just stuff that I would hold. So Bitcoin would be the first one. The next one, I said 5, guys. We're gonna give you 6 in this video. I'm pairing this group up with 2. So the first of this group would be Ethereum. Obviously, Ethereum is deemed the operating system of crypto, foundation of DeFi, NFTs, and smart contracts. With that being said, we all remembered NFTs and how NFTs, kind of, were something a little bit back in the day. Looking at the 1 year, a good time would have been buy, obviously, during this pullback in April. And guys, for the majority of cryptos that we're talking about, a good time would have been buy would be during this pullback, obviously, past 5 years. It's almost up 1,000%, which is great. I had the opportunity to buy Ethereum, in the hundreds of dollars. But yet again, I didn't understand crypto. The next one, and this is the last of the pair, Solana, aka is deemed the Visa of crypto, but it is a direct competitor in a way to Ethereum. So that's why I grouped this up, guys. We want to buy one or the other. My personal opinion, I prefer Ethereum over Solana. That's just my personal opinion. But the past 5 years, Solana has ripped. We're talking about, look at that, 8,500%. It's a growth monster, but the past year, hasn't really grown a whole lot, 23%. If we sit here and look, it would have been a good time to buy it during that pullback, in April, you get it at $106. But a great time to buy that we should have all bought was, 2022, 2023. So there's Solana. The next one will be a Link, aka Chainlink. Chainlink is the API of crypto. It's bridges real-world data to the blockchain, which just off that brings real-world data to the blockchain. I mean, that's great off of itself. Past 5 years, it's only been up 60% past 5 years. Do with that what you please. A good time to buy would obviously be during this pullback right here, in June and then in April. Next one will be Avalanche, aka AVAX. Past year, 402%. Obviously, good time would be buy during these times in 2022. But recent times, right now would be a great time to buy Avalanche. You know what I mean? If April would have been a good time, March would have been a good time, June would have been a great time, and even right now, I would think buying Avalanche would be a good time to buy right now. You know, it was at like $50. It's at 20 now. 26% down. Do I know why it went down that much? No. It was at 128. But that'd be a good long hold. AVAX is the enterprise grade of smart contracts. It's kind of like the platform of it. Do with that what you please. But I think Ethereum, it does that as well. So the last one is something that I actually do hold, guys, and I actually have a decent amount of money in, and that is XRP. Obviously, XRP, for those that don't know, it settles banking transfers between banks internationally or, nationally between each other, and it settles the funds pretty fast. We are relying on an old system called SWIFT that was, I think, back in the 80s or 70s that it was created, and it's a slower process. So, it's solving the problem of, settling transfers within banks faster, which is, it's actually a real world problem, and stuff like that. We are a little bit down. A good time to buy XRP would obviously been right around this time last year, before that big major rip up. I did get in. Obviously my average cost is $2.46. I just constantly buy $100 a month of XRP. But I feel like I have a decent position built out on XRP, so we might cut that eventually. But yeah, XRP is up past 5 years, 890%. Obviously, do what you want. Crypto is crypto. Kane, when's a good time to buy, crypto? The best time to buy crypto, guys, is during a major pullback. It's during when, just like the best time to buy stocks is during a major pullback. Kane, you said that, but you're buying XRP, because I'm buying XRP for the long haul. I'm not, trying to, go up 100% and then sell it. My crypto portfolio that I do build out, guys, it's for the long haul. It's for, a long time. Okay. And so with that being said, that's for the long haul. You want to sit here and buy at max fear, and what happens. We just had that, decent dip, right? It's like a couple Fridays ago, with Trump saying 100% tariffs on China. And, that would have been a good time to buy some crypto during that pullback, what I'm saying? But you want to buy during max fear, when the market is tanking and stuff. Obviously crypto gets hit, a little bit more harder, because of it being crypto. And so those are the times that you want to sit here and snag up a lot of these coins that we went over. King, what are my top three? My top three out of the 5 that we have listed would be Bitcoin, Ethereum / Solana, and XRP. Those are the 3/4. Obviously it's 4, but those are the 4 that I like. Those are the 4 that I think that's worth buying, in my personal opinion. So yep, we got, basically, I know I said 3, but I do pair Ethereum and Solana. I kind of group them up since they are competitors in a way. So guys, with that being said, guys, that is what I would be doing with crypto. Kane, that's when I would buy, is obviously during a pullback. Kane, if you had a 5K account, how would you divvy it up? So how I would divvy it up would be like this. For the top 5, I would go 2K in Bitcoin, 1.5K in Ethereum, $500 in Solana, 500 in XRP, and 250 each in AVAX and Link. That's how I would do it for these top 5 cryptos. If not, if I just want to do my top 3, I would go obviously 3K Bitcoin, 1.5K Ethereum / Solana, and $500 in XRP. That's what I would do. Yes, guys, when it comes to the real portfolio, you're like, Kane, you got, your XRP built out. And that's true. You barely have any Bitcoin or Ethereum. That's true. When that pullback does happen, because guys, it always will happen. And, the rise back up will more likely 99% of the time will happen. There will be a day that the market does go to 0. And that would be the least of your worries, the market going to 0, because at that time, none of this would matter anymore. You would be, needing food and water and protection for your family. But guys, with that being said, my year to date in crypto is sucky. We're down 2.36%. I just started, this stuff, but all time we are up 17%. Dang, guys, we were up some buco buckos. Guys, with that being said, guys, I love you guys. Peace.